All right, good morning, guys. Thanks for joining me here today on Real Stocks. We're going to take a look at the markets and watch it go straight up into all-time highs today. Market is going to go up about 11% today, just so you guys know, right there. Boom, just a big, huge candle. No, I'm joking. It's not going to do that. Although everybody would like that. We are up about 1% though today. Gapping up towards the high of yesterday. We'll see if it's another sell-off day or if we do have and actually what could be a bullish day. So looking for that follow-through day, that elusive follow-through day. We're starting off with day one today after the low undercutting yesterday or Friday, as the case may be. Wait for some people to get here. It's not too fun repeating yourself all the time. In the meantime, fun going on in the cryptocurrency market. We just had, it looks like Bitcoin spiked down lower earlier this morning for me at least, and finally breaking out of one of the narrowest trading ranges ever in the history of, I don't know, just in a long time. Ethereum looked like it was rocking a little bit higher, dropped lower actually. I'm not sure if it dropped through our alert level there, but XRP dropped through that symmetrical triangle or the descending triangle. What up, Nighthawk? Sankt, how you guys doing? All right, let's go back to stocks. In Black November, stocks or crypto? Is that how we're calling it, Black November? Just the whole month. Whole month. Just erase it already. Hasn't even started. It's still October, Sankt. It's still October, unless you're in Mars. I'm sure Mars calendar is a little bit ahead of ours. Maybe a little behind. I don't know. I don't know. The crypto market's pretty red today. Volume's really light, though, so we'll have to wait and see. Have to wait and see what happens. But, it's not a big downside move, and it may have already finished. So we still may be in the great flattening. Definitely could call it the great flattening. That would be... I think that would be pretty normal. But yeah, I'm not sure. Yesterday was a very interesting day on the NASDAQ. Let's go take a look at it Friday. Hey, what's up, JJ? Well, Sankt was asking about Black November in crypto or stocks. And I was actually, when I woke up, I took a look at crypto markets and just noticed that we had a reaction to the downside there. But yesterday was really interesting. It's still the second highest volume day. The first day was over here. So another high volume day. It basically a doji close, very similar to this day. So not quite sure exactly what that means, but still well below the 200-day moving average, which is not very healthy. It tested it here, broke it here, tested it and failed, and is kind of slowly looking like it's rolling over, showing some support here around the 6,800 level. In time, that may not prove to hold, but it is what it is, and we'll kind of go from there. Interesting news out today. IBM way overpaying for Red Hat. Saw that on Investors Business Daily today. A premium of like 80%. What's up, Eli? I think that's just a little bit too much. Going to the article here. So, yeah, where is it? There's the article. So they agreed to buy Red Hat for $190 a share. Unfortunately, their shares were like $118 a share last time when I saw in the article. 116. They paid 190. So they must have been working on this deal for a while. And then the market tanks on them. And they're like, oh crap, we just way overpaid for Red Hat. So, yeah, I don't see either, Eli. I really don't see either. I don't know why they did that. IBM is just grasping at straws right now from what I can gather. That's all they're doing, grasping at straws. Yeah, I don't get it either. Um, so like I said earlier, looks like a few more people have joined the show here. We're at this stage of the game, as in every correction, you're looking for a follow through day. So we're on day one of the hunt. Day zero was Friday because it made a lower low, and today is day one. So day one, ladies and gentlemen, day one. Let's take a look at some pre-market movers. See what may or may not be running today. Wow, Solo's up 180%. Of course, Red Hat's up. Ooh, Diana Containers. DCIX is up 30%. Dries isn't up here. Top Shipping up 20%. What's going on in the shipping industry today? I think ESEA is also a shipping company. I don't know what that is. So let's look at some of these shipping companies. What's going on there? Let's see if there's some news announcement. DCIX. Wow. I learned way too much about the shipping business back in the day when they actually had a run. The hell? This is Tops. Tops is 201. So they're up here a little bit. Let's see what the news on Tops is. Three-year time chart with Clear Lake, but that was like 4 days ago. I think that was even Thursday, the 25th. That wasn't even Friday. Yeah, that was Thursday. All right, so we have Tops right there. We have DCIX. Oh my goodness. Don't know if you want to be long anything with a chart pattern like that. Um, Volatility in top ships is driving interest in overseas shipping stocks. That's the traders that remember that run from years ago. All right, that's selling off already. What's up, Stratwer? Where you been, buddy? Did you go on vacation? Was that where? I think I remember you saying something about that. All right, let's go through some of these solo. Um, oh wow, solo. Look at solo on the. Oh, that's the 15-minute. Looks like it's at 590. So opening right about there. Pretty good. I mean, really good volume signature. This is after hours, but I've still seen a few decent chart patterns in after hours. This is a nice bull flag in solo. Don't know much about what it does. Vehicle pre-orders, Electra Mechanica. So they must have sold an electric golf cart. So that's good. That's pretty big though. 100% is quite significant. Pre-orders exceed 64,000 units. They're in Canada. Huh. And they're on the NASDAQ. Composite rating of 4. That's what I was going to look at with you guys. Okay, cool. Just reminded me. This whole time, like, I got to look at something. I got to look at something. And I was looking at something. I was looking at IBD. Canada-based company designs, manufactures, and sells electric vehicles under the Solo name. And it's 61 million market cap. Million. So if this thing moves to 6 billion, you've got a 100x on your hand. So if you want to take a gamble on Solo, I don't know much about it. Do your own due diligence on that one. I may do a little bit, but remember the run that Tesla had. I don't think Solo's going to do what Tesla did. Don't get me wrong, but large price jumps like that always intrigue me, and I always like to know what could be the next big thing. And I don't know what Solo does, but it's worth looking into. Somebody want to check out their website? That'd be pretty cool. What I was gonna show you guys was Ulta. So this is an IBD thing. They're the only ones that I'm aware of that does this. 99 composite rating. It's very, very high quality. This has been holding up extraordinarily well. Lots of green dots is really good. A few red dots in the sales department and pre-tax margin. This relative strength line, this is the stock's strength relative to the S&P 500. Now, stock's relative strength line that moves into new highs ahead of the stock moving into new highs is an extremely bullish signal. And I've rarely seen this. Rarely seen this. Now, I know we're in kind of the doldrums of a correction here, but it's something to note. And as we know, Ulta is one of the few stocks that's holding any kind of moving average, and it's holding its 50-day. That red line is the 50-day moving average. And so Ulta, very top stock, top sector, 1.9 up, down volume, so twice as much buying as selling in the previous, I think it's 13 weeks. It looks like the market just opened. Let's go take a peek. And I'm going to keep Solo up here. It's having some decent reactions. I mean, off of $0 to $2 to $6. I mean, that looks pretty good. I wonder if so. Yeah, no options for Solo. Wouldn't know what to buy, even if there was. I always buy things of the green dots, right? I like the things with the green dots. What is Tesla doing? Don't care at all about that article, Eli. They're still rolling. Eli sent me an article showing that the FBI's been investigating Tesla for Model 3 numbers. How am I on the monthly? What's Tesla doing on the monthly right there? Doesn't look horrible on the monthly. It looks pretty good on the monthly. Yeah, Tesla hanging out green right there. A lot of market green this morning. Keep an eye on the NQ here, the Nasdaq, to see how it's gonna react this morning. Up 1%. Could be a gap and crap day. Very typical in corrections / bear markets. I don't want to call this a bear market. I'm so used to Bitcoin these days. Please excuse me if I do. But yeah, so need to see if this breaks 1%. If this can get going this morning, we'll see. So on the bottom of my list here. The bottom one is 2.1%. So that's just always good little visual gauge for me to see what the sentiment is of stocks today. Nasdaq already down to 0.87. All right, let's check out stuff. We had Solo up here earlier. We have Grifols. Pay attention up here. Don't pay attention to that one right there. CERN. ZS. Workday. Nothing looking great so far. Newer, already sold off to 0.75. Data bouncing off the 200-day. That could be interesting if the market does indeed hold here. DocuSign. What's DocuSign doing? Definitely failed a potential cut base right there. Not very healthy. NXPI, not looking good. Paycom. Pulling back to a prior base. I think we talked about this in Paycom. That actually could be. I know the market has some time left to go. Paycom being a pretty good leader, coming back to that prior point right there. So they have earnings coming up tomorrow after market, so pay attention to that. There's Now. What's Now doing? Now's below the 200-day moving average. Not sure if that's happened on Now ever since it started its run. So this is a great washout of stocks, guys. This is fantastic. When we come out of this thing, when we come out of this thing, this is going to be great. Therm up 2%. Wow. Good reaction off of earnings right there. And good continuation today. Nothing to do here, but 50-day moving average coming up on Therm. StockU again. There's Square. Not quite to the 200-day moving average, but maybe getting their Squares down about 35%. So a little deep. You'd like a 33% base, but we'll see. We'll see how that happens over time. Looks like earnings coming up in a couple weeks or a week. 2.4 now at the bottom of my list. So some individual names gaining some momentum while the NASDAQ go back to 0.8. So a little bit of strength here. That's not bad at all. SPY pretty much holding its open up 1.3%. Again, these are futures. These are not the Qs. So the numbers are going to be slightly different. 1.3 here also for the NASDAQ, which means the S&P is performing in line with the NASDAQ, which is actually not healthy. Not necessarily a bad thing. It says Garmin moving. Everything's moving a little bit. 1.59%. Pretty good little bottom day yesterday. Earnings are coming up, though. Looks like tomorrow or Wednesday before market on Garmin. Interesting little pattern right there. Garmin needs to get over that 63.25 level really before I'd consider it moving. Needs to get over that base right there. Till then, it's still in choppy territory. In my view, let's see what's not working today. TZA, which is 3 times long than the Russell 2000. 9 isn't working today, interestingly enough, which had a very beautiful cup with a handle right here. So actually, I'm going to move this to the weekly. So there's your handle. WLCLR, oil groups, China. Soy's not working. Man, that really failed our alert level. That's just... I'm like, oh, this is looking pretty good. Let's throw an alert above it. No, not really. Let's just fail, bear flag, and then just run really quick into recent lows. That's it. Ooh, ARMN broke up. All right. Yes, Eli. You are AMRN. Broke up and selling off a little bit today too. Using it as a selling opportunity. Not such a good thing. Q's up 1.5%. SPY up 1.4%. So gaining a little bit of traction here. All right, the futures up 0.9%. So, all right, moving higher a little bit here. That's pretty good. Sold off ever so slightly. Looks like let's see if we can maintain up here. You don't want things to run up immediately. They tend to sell off faster when they do that. You want things to kind of base around for a while. Good shakeout on Friday. Could be the impetus for, like I said on Friday, you got to respect what was happening down there at 6,800. It did maintain that into the close, but it was a pretty scary rest of the day after we left the session here. Yeah, so going back to soy, Not everything that looks good works, and that's why you wait for these consolidations to break out. So hopefully no one took positions just because I liked it. That's never a good thing. You want to confirm with price action. I like a lot of things that I see, but I trade maybe 1% of the charts that I look at. You really have to wait for price action to confirm a lot of things before you can get in. And here's a classic example. After a good move, some relative strength, it finally gave up the goat and rolled right over. So earnings look like 10:30 after market, 10:31. Ooh, beautiful sunrise in Arizona, y'all. Wow. Whole sky is pink with blue backdrop. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Nice to open your blinds and see Yeah, that's awesome. And selling off a little bit on the NQ. So we'll see how we end up today. Let's see what the top stocks in my thing are doing. 2.3, so doing okay. Doing okay right there. 157 on Solo, Grifols. How's our MJ stocks doing today? 1.4%. Looks like holding recent lows. Kind of looks like a bear flag, to be honest with you. We'll have to see how that works out. Looks like it's going to take some time to kind of take all this market exuberance and run it higher. So in time, we'll have to wait and see there. 2.4%, not doing too bad. Yeah, Ulta. Let's take a look at Ulta. What's Ulta doing? Okay, Ulta gapped up a little bit. Not into a buy area yet. Technically the buy point would be way up here technically. Good gap, 1.14. Underperforming a lot of these other stocks a little bit. Twitter. Let's look at Twitter. 1.9%. Overall, it's okay. There's definitely some distribution. So yeah, Twitter was looking really good, and then later in the day, it just started selling off and closed pretty low. I would say it would need to breach that high at the 33.66 level to really get going again. But it's looking okay. It's looking like it. We'll have to see if that gap holds. That's great. If that gap never fills, because it tried it the next day and failed, held at the 50-day, gapped up to the 50-day. That's bullish action. Volume was good, but again, it sold off a good portion of the day. I don't think it's really going to be technically healthy again. There's probably two lines to look at that aren't really like. One's a trend line here. It looks like that one was respected. This level right there, it needs to get above that. The problem here is there's a gap here it needs to fill. So there's many areas of resistance going higher. However, maybe Twitter has turned the corner with the recent strength in the market. You see the weakness here, and then not a lot of reaction to the sell-off, and then a positive reaction on earnings. You do see earnings is increasing 19, 16, 17, 21. So that is positive. Twitter could be back on the road here. That could be something that happens. Whether you can place a price target on it at this particular point in time, that's probably a negative. The chart does have a lot of damage done to it. Actually, looks like there could be a double bottom base with a buy point right there. One low, two lows. The right low lower than the left low, and your buy point is at the middle. So that could be a potential buy point for you. If you're a much more patient investor and you have a very long-term time horizon, I think Twitter could be something you could be interested in taking a position in based on that earnings reaction. I don't know much about the earnings report itself. Let's look at Twitter on Stock Checkup. But yeah, I've been liking Twitter right now for about a week or so. 96, look at that. Twitter on 96. B- group relative strength rating. 90 industry group ranking. I'm not sure how that looks, how that ranks versus others. But 110% EPS change last quarter. 117 last quarter's 3 quarters EPS. So very good growth. That bodes very, very well for Twitter. Good sales, up 30%. Pre-tax margin 21 seems very low for a company like Twitter. You think that would be higher? ROE 6%. That's due to poor price action essentially. Five quarters of increasing fund ownership is good. Anytime this is positive, that's a good thing. 92 relative strength rating, which is very good. And it looks like it's not really making new highs in the relative strength. But see how this high in the relative strength and our current level are basically flat. If you put this on the price graph, we are at highs before even breaking that high. So could be that, and like you just saw in the thing, the relative strength of Twitter is actually really nice. So yeah, Twitter looking really good. I think the news is a bunch of FUD. And Eli says Walmart's still working. So let's take a look at Walmart. We haven't talked about Walmart on the channel much, but Walmart has a nice cup with handle right here. Looks like it's slowly moving out of that handle. So I've got, so there's one price target of about 110, and I think this is, yeah, so that's to recent highs, and this is to, I think, 20% from that, which should be your general. And I think I reduced it to 15% just because it's Walmart. It's not really a big big thing, but yeah, very, very beautiful large cup with handle. I like big cup with handles, and I cannot lie. Okay, so now we're down to 2%. We were down at 2.1 at the beginning, got as high as 2.4 at the bottom of my list, and the Nasdaq down to 0.6%, 0.59%. Let's look at the Qs. 1.2% underperforming the SPY right now. So the people like to, the Nasdaq typically has some more aggressive growth companies, and when it's not outperforming, that's a weak sign. So maybe we had our gap. Maybe we're going to start our crap throughout the rest of the day. We'll have to wait and see. But down to 2% from 2.1. We'll have to see. But yeah, Walmart looking really good here, up 1%. Unbreakable could be a good description too, because if you look at it here over the most recent market action, held up very nicely. Lots of strength in the face of adversity. You can't be mad at that. And just kind of slowly marching higher is Walmart. So that's pretty good. I would have to say that Walmart would be candidate due to the solo up 200% now. Walmart 94 composite rating. Yeah, maybe Walmart's online shopping is actually picking up. Let's see what IBD has to say. So 94 composite rating. Industry group rank as 34. Retails have been doing really well lately due to consumer. EPS 46%. That's really good. Last 3 quarters was only 20%. And obviously sales are going to be negligible. Pre-tax is 4%. Not bad for Walmart. Walmart cuts earnings outlook, partners with Advanced Auto Parts, huh? Look at the relative strength of Walmart. Man, look at that. 87 just climbing over recent highs. That's pretty impressive right there. That shows a lot of institutional whatever. But up down volume is 0.7. Again, it's the biggest retail stock basically in the world at 289 billion market cap. So it's probably not gonna launch higher for you, but it will give you a good gain, more than likely. But yeah, good EPS, good chart pattern, not bad. Good composite rating, good relative strength. And so it probably goes to prove we are seeing a little bit of sector rotation out of some of those huge, a lot of institutional whatever. That's right. That's an advanced metric, Eli. You would know nothing about that, my friend. Nothing. All right, what are you accused of? 1.27. Okay, so we're kind of maintaining so far. Only 15 minutes into the day. Into the really big show. Walmart doing pretty good. Walmart's already jumped 25% of today's gain today that we've seen. So that's impressive. That's impressive in Walmart. But yeah, so Solo. I'm interested in this Solo. Yeah, I think I'm pretty interested in Solo here. Looks like it had a pop earlier. A huge pop today. Yeah, basing's good. I mean, there's a thing never short a dull market. If we start to get a dull market, that would be really good signs for us here. We were looking a little dull over here, and then it popped up, and then we started rolling over. So, but this market's indexes are pretty much broken right now. It's going to take time for them to wear it off. Don't know if it's weeks or months, but going to take time. And ideally, if this could be our low day going forward, and count our 4 days, get us a follow through day between day 4 and 6. I think the strongest follow through days have come between days 4 and 8 or something like that. The recent history of the market has been very short-term corrective movements, and if this could be no different, obviously that would be great. There's no major impetus, I think, for a recession or any kind of major calamity in the financial markets. Obviously, the trade war is a concern. The longer that goes, the worse things are going to tend to get. Past that, I guess Brazil. That's another IBD article we were looking at. Was Brazil just announced an election that? Let me go find that. I want to do some research on Solo too. Brazil just had an election where it looks like the Conservative Party that is stock market friendly won, and the Brazil ETF is EWZ. Hey, look at that big W pattern. Didn't we look at this the other day? We looked at this the other day, didn't we? Yeah. Do I have EWZ on my list here? What's that, 1.8%? Let's look. I do not. I could have swore we've looked at this the other day. Could have swore we saw this. Anyway. China going down still? I guess we didn't try to time that, huh? Holding at 30 here on the weekly is pretty good, but it is selling off a little bit here today. But they were saying that Brazil was looking pretty good. Bull stocks look to rally on news conservative, blah, blah, won Brazil's presidential runoff on election Sunday. Watchers see him as stock market friendly, but the former army officer also praises military dictatorship that controlled Brazil for several years. So a little bit of mixed action there. And coming up pretty good, but I don't know if the leaders of these countries are in, especially these smaller countries, or not that Brazil's a super small country, but I think they're a BRIC country. Is it BRIC? Brazil, Russia, India, China. That was a thing about 4 or 5 years ago. Everyone's talking about the BRIC countries. Everyone likes to give everything a nickname. Q is 1.1% right now. 1.1%. Moving a little bit lower. What's my top stock at? 1.9% right now. So top stock's doing okay. It's not moving down a tremendous amount, but still moving lower. All right, I want to look at Solo. Solo cars. Oh, what kind of garbage is this? What? Oh, come on. Seriously? Who the hell is going to buy that? Willwood brakes? You have a Willwood brakes on your Solo car? That's crazy. E-Roadster. Okay, I don't know what you're doing here. At least Eli had a plan. I don't know what... I feel like I'm buying half a car. Right there. Alright, what's your price? What's your price? Reserve now. But you're not... $250. It better cost $3,000. It's not gonna though. Nothing costs $3,000 anymore. Is that a real picture? That looks like it shrunk. It looks like looks like someone. I had high hopes for you, Solo. I had high hopes. Oh, come on. Is that seriously what it looks like? You're joking. You're never gonna sell more than 6 of these things. I can't invest in this. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is horrible. That is horrendous. That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. We used to buy these wheels for our cars back in the late 90s. Honey, I Shrunk the Car. Yeah, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, this is not. Oh, you're killing me. See, they've been trying to make cars like this for 15 years. This is sad. This is just sad. Your stock chart looks way better than your car. How's that? That's crazy. Must have put all that weight up there by those front wheels just to get the thing not to roll over. Like it seriously looks like something Eli did in Photoshop of a vehicle. Eli, go make a Subaru Impreza look like this in Photoshop and let's start a car company. Just make a website and start taking $250 reservations. Horrible. I'm looking at the next failed car company. Can't invest in that. Pre-orders exceed 64,000 units. Are you serious? Who's buying 64,000 units of these things? Maybe I should get off of my car-loving high horse and actually do a little bit of research. I download this investor presentation. What's the market doing? 1.2. We're not doing anything today. Right, Eli? Oh, you know what? Make that meme up right now. Say, you should do like Crypto 2017 and put a Lambo, and do Crypto 2018 and put a Solo. When your crypto profits, this would be good for, was it Mel? Mel was looking at buying a Lambo with that Doge trade, and he kept talking about it. So, where's my Lambo? Like, here's your Lambo now, you son of a... That'd be... Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right, market cap, million, growing EV market, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Solo, blah, 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 who cares? Yes, show me what your orders are, your growth rates. I don't care about the rest of it. Okay, 15.5 for the Solo. Smart Electric. Well, that's actually not bad. That's not a bad price point. Electric only? You tell me this thing is a hybrid? You're kidding me. You made the tiniest hybrid car in the world. You're an idiot. Wow, I don't like that at all. I do like this though. I do like that price point. That's about half as cheap as everything else out there. Looks a little better than the smart car. A little better than the smart car. 3 hours on 240-volt electric charge. Vehicle class micro, whatever that means. Okay, here we go. Pre-orders in units. Individual dealers. Yeah, of course, USA. You're looking at that. Dealers, Canada, Tofino. Manufacturing agreement with industry leaders. What are you, a design company? Approved for sale. Okay, that's good. Pending opening of Los Angeles dealership to receive initial solo deliveries in Q4. Okay, so that's good. I mean, for a 60 million market cap company, that's the thing here. Well, it may be a lot more than that now. But yeah, if I wonder what the crash test rating. Oh, it is a single driver unit. You're just gonna die. Like if my minivan hits this car, you're dead. That's the problem with these small vehicles in the U.S. is vehicles have been getting exponentially larger. Yeah. No one cares. Contract manufacturing. This could be interesting right here. If a bicycle hits this thing, you're dead. If you hit this in a bicycle, you're like, oh, excuse me, sir, and you just continue riding your bike because nothing happens to your bike. You just hit something of similar size and density. Okay, so they can manufacture this piece of small stuff in China, ship it across the world, and the manufacturer owns 10%. Okay, so that at least keeps her interest in line. Intellectual property portfolio. They own some black thing and some wheel thing. Not that it matters. None of that matters. Is that your frame? Oh, I don't want a Jeep to hit me in that. That's a go-kart. Seriously, I literally could make that in my garage. The paint wouldn't come out as nice, but IP doesn't matter. Tesla just gave all theirs away. Okay, 25% gross margins at scale. Okay, 22%, 20,000 solar pre-orders. Leading established sales, pipeline of EV Solo, 40,000 Tofino experience management with deep automotive industry. Okay, what is your manual? 20 years experience of automotive management. Don't care about that. 20 years of experience in executive management roles at tech companies. Okay, that's good. A lot of old white guys, except for one old Indian guy. So that's good. Old white guys is good management. They should do that in crypto. Just put all old white guys. Check random. Weekends. I thought I'd doing something like that. Not in a costume, though. That's pretty good. Any Bitcoin trader would recognize that. Any Bitcoin trader would recognize that chart. That's hilarious. You should do a Lambo and a Solo in 2017, 20. I think that'd be good because everyone was looking for Lambos in 2017. I like it. Senior VP, CFO, General Manager. CEO of a technology company, CFO of a green energy company. Okay, so they do have some orders behind them. Let's get off my like I said, my automotive high horse. Look at some numbers. They do have some pre-orders. I'm not sure. They say they're going to start shipping in Q4 of this year, which is starting. So getting off the high horse and the thing that I would never buy one of these in a billion years. Maybe maybe a million people would, and that's really the important part. So 22,000 pre-orders as of June, which is miles away from where we are today. So 24,000 to 64,000. Oh, now we're up 1.7% on the NASDAQ today. Looks like we reversed. And we're at 2.5% at the bottom of my list. So that's good. Gain a little bit of momentum here as the half hour close. Solo up 147%. Grifols, Workday, TNA, Auto Home. See, that's why I never short the market. It's just too much work. Now you're like upside down. If you shorted down here, you think it was going lower. Now you're confused as to what to do. It's just too much work. There's too much money to be made on the upside to be worried about some short-term shorting stuff. Now, like I said, if a screaming opportunity presents itself, like say we get up here to the 50-day when the 50-day meets us, because we're going to get the 50-day eventually. Maybe not on this leg, maybe on this leg, but when we get there, we'll see what the market action holds. And then maybe you can, you probably have a lot of cash right now. If things don't look strong when we get there, then maybe you can try to take a short position on a test of the 50-day, because that could be a location where we could fail. And this market action right here isn't indicative of, hey, we're done going lower. I mean, you do have, good high volume bars here. This is another good one. But, there's no guarantee we're going up here. Anywho, 2.6%, 1.83% on the Qs. So, all right, looking pretty good. So far, so good. Solo selling off, as it should. That should sell off. Let's say 64,000 pre-orders. So, yeah, 64. And that's funny. Note, this thing sells single person. It's right there on the note. Both companies manufacture single person electric vehicles. Not sure what the market is for that. But anyway, if there is a market for that, you see some initial interest. Oh, there's no volume over here. Oh, 3,000, 12,000, 1 million volume. And then today we have 8 million shares traded. Let's go to Finviz. I want to see what the float and stuff is on this thing. Always interested in new and exciting companies. Whoa. Solo did not show up on Finviz. Okay. Okie dokie. Now check random. That looks about right, doesn't it? Doesn't that look right? Oh, that's awesome. You should overlay the Bitcoin chart on that. With that, just like this chick right there with that spike right in the middle. Just boom. Bitcoin 2017, Bitcoin 2018. It's fantastic. Yeah, Europeans, they do like their small cars. They've got different infrastructure. So here's the thing. They're Canadian-based. They weren't really touting the European market. If they were saying, hey, we're going heavily into Europe, they've got a design for these things, it looks like they're really stuck in Canada and the U.S., even though they're manufacturing in China, which means they can ship it anywhere. I kind of agree with you. They probably should be focusing on the European market. But they mentioned California. I mean, I'm assuming, like I said, these are looks like a bunch of tech guys, so they're thinking about the U.S. They're not thinking about the ideal initial target market. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all, to be honest with you. I mean, the price point is good as a commuter vehicle, but that's the problem. That I think a lot of it's not going to go mass market. It's not going to go mass market. There's just no. People have families. I'm sorry. I got 2 kids. I'm not buying a single person anything, even for a commuter, because if I got to go get my kids in an emergency, I'd rather go buy a $15,000 used car than a $15,000 single-seater EV. But yeah, if they were to say in this, hey, we're really targeting Europe, because a lot of European roads, not all of them, I understand that, are smaller. The U.S. has really been built with vehicles in mind, and so our roads are wider, our cars are bigger, and I know in Europe they tax you based on engine size and things of that nature. So this would do probably very good in Europe, and I think if they were to target that, but they did not mention one European city. Now that you state that. So, it's all about California. I think you're right. I think you go to Europe with this thing. I think you go to Europe, and right there, U.S., California, California. It's not about Europe, but I think this would do good in Europe. Much better. Yeah, they tax them. I used to watch Top Gear back when Top Gear was good, and learn a lot about, not a lot, but enough from an investor perspective. Yeah, I pay zero road tax on my small engine car. Yeah, you take a V8 to Europe, and I don't know, what would the road tax be on like a V8 anything, like a Mustang or something like that? It would be through the roof. I heard someone saying, or didn't hear anyone saying, I read an article stating that going forward in Europe, you're basically going to have electric vehicles because the tax is getting so outrageous. All right, market back to 1.7%. Happy living towards the highs. SPY, already a pretty big range in the day today. Not sure why it had that big drop initially. We didn't really have that in the NASDAQ. Let's go take a peek at the 5-minute. Doesn't look like it. Looks like the low here, 268. This low shows 265. That's weird. That's really weird. 265 on the daily, but then I go to the 5-minute, and 265 is way down here. There's nothing at 265. There's a misprint somewhere. That's really weird. See, pays to pay attention to the small stuff. You just never quite know what you're going to find. All right, guys, I'm going to bounce out of here. Guys, have a good day. I don't know. Maybe Solo's a good gamble. Like I said, it's a $64 million company. If this thing does actually start selling, you could have a 10-bagger at 610 million market cap. That's a pretty good gamble. That's better than a lot of gambles you can say, especially in the stock market. Good for a potential 10-bagger there. So anyway, I'm sure we'll revisit this in the upcoming weeks. We'll probably have another good day or two in it. It says Q4 delivery, so if they're going to start delivering, maybe we'll see some news articles about that, get some hype about Solo. I'm sure, as Tesla, see, here's the thing, as Tesla maintains its viability as an electric car company, if everyone can get their heads out of Elon's butt, hey, everyone wants electric cars. They're going to start looking at these smaller companies similar to Solo, is a secondary play on the electric vehicle market. If they're going to start manufacturing, if they're shipping orders, even if it's a tin can with a motor on it, that can make you some profit. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining me today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.